When I was starting, it was just a brand new Vogue and no one really cared about it. When I book a model, I always go to her Instagram first, even before going to the comp card. I want to see how the girl looks like in real life, what's her angles, how she acts in real life, so I can see like what's her personality, what's her vibe, like what's her like real
Mm-hmm.
face.
I'm so sorry, Olga.
It's your agency, it's not you.
Well, Olga, let's just go and let's do it right now.
Yeah.
You know? Welcome to new episode of the Extra Stitch podcast, and today we have very special guest, Olga Yanul, fashion editor, director for L'Officiel Ukraine, as well as creative
Consultant and
consultant
stylist, yeah.
and
All the
stylist,
things creative and fashion.
all creative and fashion. And you have amazing Instagram account. I
Thank
think
you.
you're inspiration for so many of us that I'm very excited to have you here today and interview you.
Oh, thank you so much, Ginta. I'm so excited to be here. I've been watching your podcast since the beginning, so it's an honor to be here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm glad we finally get to do this. Last week we were supposed to film and it was
Yeah.
crazy weather in LA.
Super stormy. LA can get a crazy weather too.
Yeah, so I'm
I
glad
got
that
flooded.
a lot of flood. I couldn't leave my house basically. I had like so much water coming down the street. But I'm glad we could do this
Yeah.
today. So
Right.
thank you so much.
Of course.
How are
Thank
you doing?
I'm good. Just probably moving to New York. So not moving. I mean, we're gonna live in New York for some time. I would say that because I still love LA and I'm planning to come here. So I feel like I'm gonna try to entertain this idea of being bi-coastal
Mm-hmm.
because I still have a lot of people here and a lot of network and projects that can possibly happen here as well. So I want to keep it like that. But of course, we'll be based in New York for some time, but I will be coming back here.
Mm-hmm. So that's a new chapter for you. You're entering
Yeah, I think
in a
something new
sense,
to
right?
try. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and some apartment looking right now. So excited. That's always interesting to like find a new place and just settle down and
Mm-hmm.
decorate and just to feel how it works there too. But that's one of the nice things of the move, not counting all the packing and logistics and everything.
And the baby. So
The
I didn't
baby.
mention Olga is a mom of a little baby girl, Gala, who's almost 2 years old in June, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I can't believe she's almost 2 years old soon. I
it's
was thinking
wild.
about it today. I was like, oh, she's almost 20 months, just 4 months, and she's going to be two. I can't believe that.
It's crazy.
Time flies so
It's
fast.
crazy. I
Hmm.
know. Well, I kind of wanted to maybe dive in and start get into like how it all started for you, where you come from. So you come from Ukraine, which city you were born and raised, and how was like your childhood? Maybe a little bit about that.
I was born in Ukraine. I was born in like in a quite a small city by the sea, by the Azov Sea, and my parents lived there for like 4 or 5 years before they moved back to Kiev because they met in Kiev and uh, they married there, but then they had a job, so they moved to this little place where I was born, and they moved back to Kiev. And technically, since then, I was in Kiev all the time till pretty much till I moved here, till I moved to LA. I mean, I've been traveling a lot for work when I used to be at Vogue Ukraine, so I used to feel like I just live in a suitcase for some time. So LA is kind of like my second home, after Kyiv because I've been here for 6 years, and that's probably the longest I've been anywhere else except Kyiv. So, and that's probably one of the also moments like that kind of like bittersweet to move to New York because LA became like my second home. But it's great. The new things is nice to try, and I can always come back here for
For sure.
things. Yeah.
How did it all started this fashion world? Like how did you get drawn into it? What do you think? Like
I just feel like I've always, in a way, as much as you can, always been interested in fashion. My mom, when I was little, used to take me to the ballet all the time, almost like every night, because we lived pretty much close to the theater, and I was like 5 or 6, not even going to school yet, and she would take me every night when there was a ballet to, watch the ballet. That was very inspiring to me because every night we would be back home. I would ask her to draw my favorite costumes from the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's probably when my like beginning that I didn't realize it yet, of course, because I was 5 years old. But I had like this like drawings that mom did of all the costumes that I like. So I
Oh,
feel like that's probably one moment. Then when I was a teenager, I was just obsessed with the magazines and fashion magazines, and my room was just like a library of the magazines. And I was buying every magazine I could, and I was reading like from like literally from credits to like addresses, everything. I was like literally just everything. So I feel like I just wanted to be in the magazine world
but did you have a
since that time.
clear idea that it's styling, or at that point you were not
I
sure yet?
I think it was just like like to do fashion magazine. That was for sure. I'm probably not sure about styling. Because I studied economics in university, so it was quite far from what I wanted to do in fashion. But also at the time in Ukraine, and I feel like still in Ukraine, you don't really have a fashion education on that level, like you have like in London or in New York
Mm-hmm.
or Paris or anywhere else. So it's all, everyone is pretty much self-taught. Always like a matter of taste. And so I went to university, studied economics, and I just knew that I want to work in a creative sphere. So when I got my master degree and I was started to look for a job, I just realized that I was looking for a job specifically creative, like magazines or marketing or something that has to be creative kind of like thing.
Mm-hmm.
So my first job was also like in a pretty small local like lifestyle newspaper. And I guess that's how it all started. I was not like doing any fashionable things. I was like mostly doing some commercial things, trying to get advertisers in and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But at least
Just gaining that experience,
yeah,
right?
but at least I felt like it's something that I liked because I loved all the editorial meetings, even though I was not a part of the editorial team. But I just like loved to feel that
Mm-hmm.
vibe and everything's going on. And then at some point, I just tried writing, and I was writing articles for some time before I started styling. Then I was writing articles, beauty, fashion, lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of like site. And then once just there was like a little shoot in one of the magazines that I used to work for, and my editor gave me a chance to style it because it was like literally two pictures. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's where I've felt that I could do it, and I just started to try it more and more. And I was always watching the works of the big masters, of the big stylists and the big photographers. And I had all this magazines that were shooting, like Vogue Italy, like all the Vogue Paris, all these examples. So I just was just absorbing and like learning and trying to see like who is doing what, like what's this stylist thing, and then how is this photographer doing this, and what's the difference between them. So it's all kind of like came, I guess, with that and with experience, just trying to see how I can do it and what is my thing, how can I style it.
Yeah, then you like had to figure out your way, and like,
Yeah.
was it hard, or
Um,
do you think it comes over time,
I think
like your style and
comes over time.
Mhm.
Yeah, you just obviously like at the beginning you're just trying to copy in a way, not copy, but like you're inspired by the big stylists,
Makes
so
sense, yeah.
you're just trying to see if you can do like how they style, how they style, and try to understand what how they mix things up.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you kind of like understand that and learn that in a way, you just realize how you can do it yourself with your own vision and things like that.
Mm-hmm. I think styling has always been such an I admire styling because I'm always, on the other side where I'm a model and like I get styled too. And it's just like to understand that styling process and what's going on in your head. We did the shoot together
Yeah.
for L'Officiel was it a year ago, I would say, or more?
Probably more. My
Mm.
baby was 3 months old, I think, or 4 months old. So yeah, a
Yeah,
little more.
something like that. Yeah. And it's just like it's beautiful to see like how your thought process work and like see at the end like how it all plays together and gets together with like a photographer and I think it's such a cool process.
Yeah, I think it's just important to like understand if you work for the magazine or for instance you work for red carpet as a stylist, it's two different things. I mean, you can do them both, of course, but you have to, it's slightly different, process, let's say, because in the magazine, when you work with a photographer and you know how the garment works in the light and then the movement and how you can sort of freeze the moment, right? Like how you can direct the model to tell her what to do, that the garment looks great in that, that particular way. So that's one thing, because red carpet is different, that it's a real person wearing the real thing. So you have to consider a lot of different moments right there too. But my favorite is still like editorial, because for me, all the fashion shoots and everything is more of a form of art.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that's why every time I'm going and to the shoot, I'm thinking about it almost as of creating of like an art piece in a way, if they
Mm-hmm.
can, of course. So that's why you're just, you can be a little more creative in a good way with fashion shoots,
Mm-hmm.
because like you can create sculptures, or you can create different worlds
Mm-hmm.
with a picture and a model,
100%. I think that's why I love this job
and
too.
that's the magic of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like it's art. It's
Hmm.
definitely and I think it changed over time. I want to know your intake, how fashion world has changed over time, but I feel like it used to be so much more pure art. Like every picture you see in a
Hmm.
magazine, it takes so much effort, you
Yeah.
know, that now I almost feel like everything is just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I think it's just world is just so much faster now, especially with social media, that even you can create art, but I feel like it's just gonna live like for 1 or 2 days on someone's Instagram page, and then or yes, in a magazine too, but no, people read less magazines now, so I feel like it's a little different, and I think that just all the shoots are becoming a little more simple, I guess, too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I was when I was starting, for me, it was all almost like a creating. I was for every shoot I was doing, I was thinking it's almost like a little movie, and then when model would come on set, I will tell her what her character is, how she should act, because she is in that or that kind of world and that or that kind of mindset, and this. So because you guys are also acting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was. I feel like right now it's more everything's more simple and just you
Mm-hmm.
know. Uh,
I think like we probably have some model following to the podcast. So I was curious for other models, like just to understand from your perspective, how do you find a model? Like what criteria and like what is the process and what do you think it's it for a model?
I think it's important to for a model to realize her charisma, let's say, right? Because I mean, of course, a lot of casting directors or editors, they like models that are very, let's say, neutral, and then you can just build it up. But I think it's also important that the girl has this, like, power, in the power, and she is realizing knows how to use it, and she's confident in it. And I feel like you can feel it through the pictures right away too.
Such a good
And
point.
I think most of the big models actually has that. That's how they're getting their, position too.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they may look quite simple, but then when they start acting, then everything is changing. But before you can start acting, you have to realize that you have this power.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
love this, Olga. It's so good. I totally see. I see why and like how it plays out for sure.
Yeah. And it's so magical when you see the model changing on a set, and she just starts, bringing it all out. Depends on
Mm-hmm.
the idea what you have. It's just, so cool.
Chills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, then yeah, and then like so how did you ended up in LA? How was the way for you to come to America?
Uh, I was kind of like thinking about coming to America for a while, and but specifically to New York. But then I was here for a shoot. I was shooting Mila Jovovich cover for Vogue Ukraine when I used to work at Vogue Ukraine. And I stayed here because I was supposed to be like just for 2 days of the shoot, but I stayed here for a little longer because I used to say like no one flies to LA for 2 days; it's too far. So I stayed here a little longer, and I just wanted to see what's going on in the city because like last time I've been here was forever. So I was like, okay, well let's see what's going on. And then I had a friend in town that actually I told him that I'm in town. And he's like, well, I'm leaving, but here's my friend here, and he can show you around. So his friend that was showing me around is my husband now.
Tony, yeah.
Yes. So that's how I stayed here technically. Well, he was here after like 15 years in New York working with the biggest photographers and models because he used to represent photographers, stylists, and he was one of the co-founders of DNA Models, where you were part of also.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a lot of all these big jobs and big projects, and got a little tired at some point. So he came to LA, just to kind of have a little more chill life.
Yeah.
And that's where we met. Yeah.
And that's how it all started, your
Yeah.
love story with Tony. So you guys been together then technically 6 years? Because
6 years of marriage and 7 years of being together. Yes.
7 years of being together and 6 years of marriage.
Yes.
Wow. Was it a big step for you coming from Ukraine to LA, and like how was the whole
No, I think
You
I
ready for
wanted
it?
it. Yes, in a way. But I was envisioning New York, but then I met him here and he was like, well, can we just try here? If you don't like it here, we can go, to New York. So for me, I guess at that point I had to start anywhere anyway. New York or LA was pretty new to both of them. So, but I have him in LA, so I guess that's, it was like, okay, I can try LA because I have my man here now. So,
How do you think? Because I'm married to American, and Tony's American, right?
he was born in America, but his family is from Spain and Argentina.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
But still different than Ukraine,
of course.
right? Because you're Ukrainian. And I'm just thinking what is the biggest, do you see a lot of cultural differences between you and Tony? Like, where do you guys meet? Or is there like a lot of, like me and Brian as well, we have a lot of things that we're like, to this day, we try to figure out to find like common ground, But I feel like it's definitely, there is cultural difference. I don't know. How do you see it?
I feel like of course, we have cultural differences, but because we are from the same industry, I think that helps a lot because, like we technically speak the same language, the photographers, the productions, the magazines, the models, and things like that, the creatives and stuff. It's kind of like the same network and the same world we're living in. So I think that helps a lot because we're just like literally like so many things that we can do together. And we did together a lot of projects. And but of course the cultural difference, I feel like probably of course like some American things like this like addiction to sports, and of course I love sports, but like we have soccer, they have volleyball or American football, yeah, stuff like that, or even like the Super Bowl. Like for me, it's like I know it's a big thing here, but I just didn't get to it
American.
yet. Yes, and I know that like, and my husband's family was watching, and his brother is the coach himself, so some things like that. But it's it's interesting to learn from each other, things like that too.
For sure, yeah. And
Or like like food or some movies, and like little things that are very American that you just learning from him too.
has he been in Ukraine?
Yes.
Yeah. What did he think? Did he like it?
Yeah, he did. We were in Ukraine right before, a few months before the war started. We didn't know that it's gonna start, of course, and
It's crazy.
it was his first time in Ukraine, but it was beautiful. Yeah, I liked it. He liked it.
I always wanted to go. I've never been. I've been at the airport in Kiev and like switching flights and stuff, Because Riga airport's very small, but
I was trying to bring you to Kiev when I was working at Vogue Ukraine. It was 10 years ago, and I was a fashion editor there, but I was doing like a lot of things, including booking models and, like putting the things together for the shoots and everything. So that was the time when I was trying to book you like a lot, but
no way.
you were probably not available. So otherwise, I would book you for the cover.
No way. Do you remember
Yeah.
what year it was?
10 years ago? Well,
10 years ago.
like, I don't know, 2017, let's say.
Really?
Maybe 15. No, maybe 2000, not 17. 17, I was already here. Like, and that's not even 10 years ago. So yeah, 14, 15, something like that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Olga.
But it's your agency, it's not you.
Yeah, it's, that's the thing with agencies in this industry. A lot of times we don't even know what's going on behind. And like,
but that's what I was also like trying to say before we started filming, because I remember myself trying to book you, for the shoots. And I was always, it's just DNA is not the easiest model agency to deal with. They have
Mm-hmm.
amazing girls, beautiful talents, but it's just, now I feel it's better for Vogue because they've been around for such a long time. I mean, Vogue Ukraine, and it's much easier for them to get the talents right now. But when I was starting, it was just a brand new Vogue, and no one really cared about it, and
Which is crazy.
no one really wanted to give you like a big girls, so it was always a little fight with the models and not models, model agencies, mostly
Mm-hmm.
just to get, because my goal was to get the biggest girl, best girls. But because we were a new Vogue, it was always like, not available, not today, maybe next time or next year, and stuff like
Well,
that.
Olga, let's just go and let's do it right now.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that's
But I was thinking on the way here that it's so cool and so special, and also like one of these like things of living here in LA and being in the same city as you. And 10 years ago, I was trying to book you for the job, so I feel like
and
it's
here we are
magical.
now in LA in the studio
Yeah,
filming podcasts
there's
together.
some little cool
You know,
things going on. Yeah.
it's for sure. And like, I'll never forget the first shoot we did together. It was for a Latvian magazine
Yeah.
called Life,
Mm-hmm.
and our friend Liga put us
Yeah.
together in touch. I think it was during COVID, right? Or it was like at the end of it or something.
I think it was during COVID because it was like super small team. We were like 3 people, right?
We had to shoot outside.
Yeah, we
we
were shooting in the lake, so it was all like super safe, and yeah,
It was so beautiful.
it was
And I
nice.
fell in love with you right away. I just
Oh,
love
thank
like
you.
how you see clothes, how you see fashion, and you're just so chill about it all. Like it's so cool. And your Instagram is like amazing.
Oh, thank
So
you.
inspirational. Is it hard to work on your Instagram or it comes to you naturally?
I'm just trying to be myself,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like doing anything special. And then if I have time and moment to document things and the way I see, I'm just doing it. And of course, it's kind of like a part of the job in a way right now too, because I feel like everyone in fashion or in the creative industry has to do it in some or the other way of, because that's kind of like your portfolio, even though it's
Mm-hmm.
not the styling work all the time, but still, it's kind of like your taste, your lifestyle, like just the world around you as a fashion editor or the fashion model is still important, I
Yeah.
think, and a lot of people also like, especially for me, like when I book a model, especially now when Instagram is so big, I always go to Instagram first, even before going to the comp card,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to see how the girl looks like in real life, what's her angles, how she acts in real life, so I can see like what's her personality, what's her vibe, like what's her like real
Mm-hmm.
face without, all the like portfolio things.
That's such a good point.
And also how
So
she sees herself, because sometimes the girl sees her angle, or like when
yeah.
you
So
everyone
for
has an
aspiring
angle or stuff.
models, it's important to understand that, like, yeah, Instagram is your card.
Yeah,
It's your
in a
comp
way,
card.
yeah.
Shows your how you are and who you are and like what you look without makeup and how you look
Hmm.
in your kitchen, like more like just natural vibe. I totally agree. When I look at other girls' profiles on Instagram too, I like when girls post work stuff, but I'm more drawn to like what they do
Yeah, in
besides
the
that,
real
like
way,
what's in
like.
their real life.
Hmm.
Like, do they like horseback riding or whatever it is,
Hmm.
like see their hobbies. So that's a good point. Yeah, to always kind of pay attention to your Instagram. Have you ever seen any girl where you go on Instagram, you're like, oh my goodness, this is crazy? You're like,
Like in a good way or a
no,
bad way?
bad way.
Probably not. I don't think
Not?
so.
Yeah. I think everyone's kind of more aware, like everyone's like understanding that, like,
Or
it
I'm
gives
I'm
you
trying not to cast the girls that are,
that you're, yeah.
I'm trying to
Good
cast the
point.
good girls.
Yeah. Olga aims for the highest.
Yeah,
Makes sense. So how is
always.
it work in LA? Like, do you work with a lot of like still European people, or it's like more, how's
Yeah,
your creatives
a lot of
here?
European people too, because a lot of people that knew me from Europe, from Ukraine, from, Paris or anywhere, they know that I'm here, so they're coming to me, because they know that obviously I'm here, so I can help with productions or with introductions or, with whatever, or styling, of course, with all these things, because now I'm local in a way,
Mm-hmm.
local. And of course, I know where to go. I know the locations. I know people that can help to put things together, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps, of course. And yeah, and American companies as well. But to be honest, mostly European because they know that I'm here. And I
Makes
feel like
sense.
my style as a fashion editor and stylist is probably a little closer to the European taste than to American.
100%. Mm-hmm.
but that's
Which
okay.
is amazing. It makes you stand out, you
Yeah,
know? It's not always about blending in,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Do
Yeah.
you feel like the same with you?
Yes and no in some ways. I feel like what helped me in American market was they kind of resonated with me, seeing me as American sweetheart. I
Mm-hmm.
used to have like crazy bleach blonde hair,
Yeah, I
like
remember
white, white,
that.
white. And it worked in my benefit. I was like, I could be that commercial girl. I did a lot of like Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale,
Mm-hmm.
Saks, like a lot of catalog. And then yet at the same time, I did a lot of editorial,
High fashion, yeah.
high fashion, but actually high fashion, it was more European, like Numero French,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of European magazines actually. Interesting. But commercial side was always in America. And I think that's why it like played in my favor. And I always loved US because I
Yeah.
felt like it comes easy and natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then your love story with Tony, you guys created this amazing little human, baby Gala.
Yeah.
How did that came in your life? Were you ready to get pregnant or what
Um,
was the story
I
with you
was
guys?
we were not like planning or doing anything special. At some point, it's just happened to us. I mean, I feel like in my head I was finally ready because like I was in 30, I was 36, I think. And it just happened, and I feel like I was, like I just started to think about baby, and she just came, to
Mm-hmm.
us. So yeah, because I feel like earlier I was definitely not ready. We had one miscarriage before,
No,
like two
sorry.
years before her. It was a weird experience, but I think that I was not ready back then because I don't know. That was kind of like by accident,
Yeah.
if it is possible. But I just feel like mentally I was not ready, and maybe that's why it didn't happen.
Yeah, and baby wasn't ready either.
Yeah.
It kind of like, in some weird way, it's almost like your body, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. Like your
Mm-hmm.
body figures out for you.
I think
Sorry
so.
you went through that.
Yeah, that was weird experience, but
Yeah.
we have baby Gala now, so all good.
And she's so cute.
Yeah, she's a
Cutie.
super cutie.
Yeah. So, how was your pregnancy? How was that experience?
That was super easy. I actually love to be pregnant because I didn't feel anything bad. I didn't have any like morning sickness or anything. I just had like I was very sensitive to the smells. So like with someone wearing a perfume or if, like a smell of food would make me feel weird. It was just very sensitive.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was really, really easy, really nice. I
How did
loved the
you
time. My skin was glowing. I looked
Mhm.
beautiful as never
You did.
before. So that was good. Like now I'm thinking like if anyone can give me a pill that, bring back the pregnancy glow, that would be
It's the
someone has to
best.
invent that.
Yeah, right? How did you find out that you're pregnant? Were you like early on that you found out or?
To be honest, I think I felt it right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, I know, but I just,
I mean,
I
you know
just,
your
I
body,
just
right?
felt it. I don't know. I just like felt like next day. I just like I think, something happened. And then obviously, I just took a test months later, and it confirmed. But I felt it like almost right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, I know.
You know and you know.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they say you're very in tune with your body, right? And
Yeah, it
how
was
was
just weird because like next day I was like, I think something's going on.
mm-hmm. You know
Which is
and you
like
know.
obviously I didn't know anything or my body didn't react
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
period was late at some point, but I think I already knew that.
Were you like just waiting to take that test or like you kind of knew you already are or
No, of course it was a little bit sensitive because based on the miscarriage that I had before, so I was kind of like, oh, I don't know, let's see,
yeah.
let's see what's going on. But turned out all good, so it
Yeah.
was a relief. Yeah,
Oh, that's so beautiful.
yeah.
And how was your delivery experience?
Oh, that one was a little more complicated. I just had a 32-hour labor, and
That's long.
that's a long one, yeah, and it is quite painful. But the good thing is, I think you just forget about it, the pain, quite
Mm-hmm.
quickly after you have baby. Just not the same time, of course, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, it was super painful, and you can't walk for several days properly and everything. But then, I don't know, 2 months later, you just don't remember that pain anymore. You just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like back to yourself and have your beautiful baby. So
Uh,
that's
yeah.
that's okay. But yeah, that was a weird experience. I mean, it's cool that that our body can do it, but it was quite painful for me.
Would you do it again?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I like to be pregnant. I like with a
You
baby
like the glow,
Gala. Yeah, that
the
was
pregnancy glow.
that was a nice. But delivery, yeah, I don't know. It's let's see if universe wants me to. You know.
So you was 32 hours. Was it because of contractions? It just like
Yeah,
lasted a
it's
long
just
time.
I was just not opening up quickly. I don't know. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
then the contractions were quite painful at some point. So I was trying to deliver without any shots or anything because I was like, well, our body's built to deliver without anything. I want to try it like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just had that idea in my mind, but obviously it didn't happen like that because at some point it was so painful I couldn't even breathe. Like I felt, I don't know, like I feel like there is like different type of contractions, but my contractions were like top high, so I felt like my ribs were just about to explode.
Oh my
I
God.
couldn't breathe, and just like literally like all the pressure went onto my ribs. I don't know like how, everyone's bodies I guess different, but like it was literally like, every breeze was a
Mm-hmm.
contraction, and I felt like my ribs are just
Do you
gonna.
think maybe because you were holding it, there's just so much in pain, you almost like
I
hold
don't
it?
know. I don't know. It's hard to say. But then they did a shot, and I was like, I just fell asleep and slept the whole entire night.
You got
And then
energy back.
next day, just get the baby out.
You're like, it's time. It's
This
been a long
time,
time.
yeah. It's weird when they tell you like, okay, you're open, ready. I'm gonna call the doctor soon. I was like,
And it's
ah,
like you don't know what to expect, right? You're like, how is it gonna go? Like,
yeah.
oh
I
my
was like,
God.
ah, okay, what am I gonna do now?
Because your experience sounds a little similar to mine. Like, it was so insane. I didn't have the rib pain. Everything was down there. It felt like an earthquake in me. To the point where I was like, okay, like I can't no more. They gave me epidural and I could finally sleep because I didn't sleep all night.
Hmm.
And then I gained that energy back and I was
Yeah.
like, and then when the time came to push, I felt good and strong. I was like, oh, I'm ready for this.
I was screaming. I was the one that was screaming. I know, like, nurse was coming to me, like, don't scream. I'm like, you know what? I can't,
I
hold
can do whatever I
myself.
want.
Yeah, I want to scream right now because it's painful, so I'm screaming.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit, I'm like, I don't, but I had like three nurse changes because, 32 hours, so I have all the shifts.
But why
So,
would she say that to you? That's kind of
because
mean.
I feel like she thought that when I'm screaming, the energy goes into the scream rather than, but I don't know. I just felt like screaming because it was painful.
I don't know.
So
I think you as a
I
mom,
was
you
the
know what's the
one
best.
that would scream in the movie.
Yeah. I don't know how I looked because, when I gave birth, we had to wear masks.
Oh yeah, no. They asked us to wear masks too, but I was like, I cannot breathe.
No, it's
Talking
crazy.
about,
You
I
give
can't.
birth, like you
Yeah,
can't
I
wear a
have to.
mask. Like,
But also, no one actually tells you that with a epidural, you cannot drink water, and that was the most terrible
oh,
thing for
really?
me. Well, that's in my hospital. They told me that with epidural, you cannot drink water because you don't know how they're gonna react, and maybe you can throw up or whatever, whatever. So, and I was so thirsty. Tony was there, just putting the ice
Mm-hmm.
on my lip just to kind of like, because my like everything is so thirsty. Because I was when I was pregnant, I drank so much water. Like I was like water was me all the time. I couldn't, like, I don't know. I was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
water for me. I needed a lot of water, and obviously during delivery as well. And I remember one thing. I just want to drink so much water, and they tell me that I can't. And it's so painful. And I scream. And the first thing when the baby was out, Tony was bringing me the bottle of water, and I was just like, water.
Like in those movies in desert where
Exactly. I was just so thirsty. I couldn't wait to drink water. Like, like
yeah.
taste that water. Like you want to
My
like,
God, it's so
I
wild.
know. That was
Which
terrible.
hospital did you give birth?
Hollywood Presbyterian.
Okay.
But I don't know. I guess did it allow you to drink water when you?
Now I'm thinking I don't remember. I really don't remember. I just remember I was so tired because once they gave me epidural, I was so happy. I was like, I can breathe now. And I just fell asleep. And that after that, I don't remember. All
Oh
I
yeah.
could remember, they're like, okay, she's ready. Let's go to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
push. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it all kind of like a blur.
Hmm.
But it's very interesting. I don't remember about the water.
I don't know. They told me no water, so I was
Yeah.
like, maybe that was my case. I don't know. I'm not sure what to tell you, but that was
Mm-hmm.
one of the most traumatic things for me is not able to drink water during, the delivery technically. I
And
was like,
how was the first moment when you see Gala?
oh, she was so cute. She was actually, I think she was smiling. I don't know.
Oh
I
my
mean, she's always
God.
super smiling girl. She's
Mhm.
always like happy baby,
She's
and
like, I'm
it's
finally
amazing.
here,
Yeah, and
mommy.
she was smiling, and she was like super clean and super like not red,
Yeah.
nothing. I was like, oh, so cute.
Oh my God.
But I was shaking, of course. I was just, as everyone probably, I was just, oh, yeah.
That's wild. The shake is crazy.
I know.
No one ever really talks about shaking.
No one. And then
Hmm.
Tony calls my mom right away. And I was like, I can't hold the phone. I'm shaking. Mom's like, oh, it's okay. I was shaking too. That's normal. I'm like,
Oh.
thanks, mom.
Hmm. So it was you and Tony in the hospital room. You
And
had
his mom. And my
and
mom on the phone.
ah, okay, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The
The
little
whole family.
family. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, for us it was just me and Brian.
Oh.
But it's so
No,
cute.
my mom was like on the phone because obviously it's night in Europe. So there would be like,
Yeah.
okay, like a FaceTime in me. Okay.
Yeah.
All good. All right. It's coming soon. Oh my God. That was like,
Imagine your mom so far away, right? Like
yeah.
feeling everything for you. Like, it must be so tough. Like, yeah. I remember calling my mom on the way to airport, hospital. I was giving birth. My mom's like, but Katie, you're not in hospital yet. Like, you look like you're about to give birth. I'm like, great, mom, thanks. And then I got even more freaked out because I was like, what if really I'm gonna give birth in a car right now? Like, it was just mess. But it's the most beautiful thing, right?
Yeah. Are you ready for next one?
We'll see. Yeah, I think so, but I don't know. I'm
I,
like,
yeah, it's kind of, I think
what do
we
you
just
think?
need a little more time, I think.
Yeah.
I think I just need a little more time with myself, for instance. Not myself, but for me. But
Mm-hmm.
because, Gala is just 20 months and she's just getting super active and nonstop. She has a lot of
Toddler.
energy. Yeah, it's like a nonstop toddler. So I feel like I need a little more time just to get used to
Mm-hmm.
it, the rhythm, because it's all like,
New
you just
stage.
thought that you got used to it and you got on the rhythm, but now she's changing and she's just, exploring other things and new things. So you
Mm-hmm.
just constantly have to like adjust to everything, the rhythm and the lifestyle and everything. So I feel like I probably need a little more time.
Yeah, I think so too. Like God willing,
Yeah.
like whatever happens will happen. But I think it's beautiful that we already have one
Yeah,
beautiful
I
baby,
think so.
right? So that's such a blessing in the sky. So was it hard for you like the first year? I feel like
No,
it's
I think
no?
no. I think first year is not that hard because when it's a little baby, you just can, especially when they're not yet walking, you just hold her and do your thing, which is quite easy. It's not as complicated as now because now you just have to be around her all the time and watch her because she just want to jump out of cliff or out of couch or out of her bed, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously she doesn't know how to jump or where to jump, so you just gotta watch her all the time. It's not that baby that you can just hold and do the emails or
Mm-hmm.
whatever thing on the calls. So it's a little different, but just learning to manage it.
Mm-hmm. And let me ask you, Gala is such a unique name. How did you guys came up with name?
It's inspired by my grandma, Ukrainian grandma. So in Ukraine, his name is Gala. So that was her name. And I just wanted to kind of like pay tribute, but I wanted the name sound a little easier, let's say, because I don't know where she would like to live at some point in her life.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted the name to be quite short and easy so every country or most of the countries and languages could easily pronounce it and say it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we just say it Gala or rather than Gala. As
Mm-hmm.
it would be just more like soft ending and then we just have Gala.
Does she has a middle name too?
No,
No, just Gala. It's
that's
such
just
a cool
Gala.
name. It's
Yeah.
very like elegant.
Yeah, I
Gala.
think it's. I
Yeah.
mean, some of the Americans say gala, but
Because of A pronunciation.
yeah, I was like, oh shit, I
Yeah.
was trying to
Like,
make it easy, but you still say gala.
they always gotta figure
I
something
know,
out.
but it's gala.
Yeah, Gala.
Yeah,
So beautiful. I'm so happy for you guys.
yeah, thank you.
Um,
We're happy to have a nice friend as
I
pets.
know,
Yeah,
right? Yes. We gotta put them together
yeah,
more. I feel like last time we saw it was from Gala for Gala's birthday.
yeah.
And then
That
this year
was
I
so
didn't do
cute.
anything for Axel's birthday because it was middle of July. It was just so hot and
Hmm.
but we'll get them together soon again.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, well, Olga, one more thing, like what
Yeah.
else are you working on? Is there anything, any exciting project you would want to share with us? I know you're into pottery
Well,
a little
not
bit.
exactly pottery.
We
It's just
talked.
the during the COVID, I was just got very inspired by architecture, interior design, object design, all like industrial design, all that kind of like ideas. And I was just reading a lot about it and exploring. And I just really love ceramics. So I was just I'm thinking and kind of like working on idea, soft working. Not it's not yet, soon to be done, but it just I have to crystallize the idea first. But I really want to create a platform about dedicated for ceramics and the craftsmanship that stands behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many beautiful artists all around the world that I would like to be part of it. Especially, of course, I can start with Ukrainian ones because there are a lot of beautiful Ukrainian artists working with ceramics. So this is the way I'm thinking. And of course, I'm working on my own platform. As you said, it's still Instagram still works well for me as well, even though it was never kind of like my goal. But if it works, you have to keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
Then launched my YouTube quite recently. It's still quite new, and I need much more time to produce it
How can we
and
find you
work
on
it.
YouTube?
It's just my name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and trying to work on that, but again, it's just the way I want it to be. It just takes a little more time, but I'm gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
So building up a little bit more of my own platforms and my own voice rather than just working for someone all the time. Even if I mean, of course, I still can work for magazines or work with clients and
Mm-hmm.
do projects, which I still love to do. Any cool creative project I still love to work on, but I just also want to like build up my own platform.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a fun way to explore yourself,
Yeah,
right? And
exactly.
like the ways you can go about in life and share with the world, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah, you have your own voice and you can finally like make it work and make it heard.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
best of luck, Olga, with
thank
everything
you.
you do. I'm so happy for you. Can't wait to see your next steps in life. And you're moving to New York
Yeah.
very soon. Best of luck with that. But I know you're gonna be between LA and New York, and hopefully
Yeah.
we get our babies together.
Yeah, for sure.
And
That's my plan.
thank you so much for being here
Of
today.
course. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy.